この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for more Ginga Eiyuu Densetsu. We're on episode 78. Last time on Ginga, there was a bombing on Fazan and Silverberge died, which is kind of sad because he was pretty cool. Had absolutely no effect, did not stop Reinhard from going off and doing his thing, but not quite sure who caused that at the moment. I think it's implied that Rubinsky had something to do with it, but kind of up in the air at this point. So we got a bunch of fleets converging on Yang's position at Iserlohn, and don't know what will happen to El Fácil, because they're sort of in bed with each other at this point. There was some interesting stuff at the end of the last episode where I think it was Fahrenheit recommended that Bittenfeld offer surrender to Yang and his forces, not thinking that Bittenfeld would actually go on with it, but then the narrator implied that he actually would, and this would have some odd and unforeseen consequences. So, gonna be on the lookout for that. At the same time, an old, not an old friend, an old asshole named Fork, has come back. I didn't expect to see him, but he's back in the picture, and the Earth Cult is gonna try to use him for something. I assume, given his past relationship with Yang, that they probably won't need to put much into his food to convince him to go and try and kill Yang Wenli, and I assume that's what they're trying to do here, because he's just the perfect guy for that job. Well, maybe not for the job itself, but his interests are aligned with killing Yang Wenli, considering the reduction in his station and the fact that he blames all of that on Yang. So we'll see how that goes. I really don't think they need to like brainwash him or anything. They're just give him a chance. Give him a chance at a laser pistol and send him on his way. I don't know how he could get into Iserlohn or like make anything happen, but that's the fun stuff. That's why it's fun to find out. So, bunch of stuff converging on Iserlohn. I assume we're gonna start gearing up for battle if it doesn't start right away. Firing off Thor hammers and stuff like that. I wonder if any of the damage that was done to Iserlohn in some of the previous conflicts is still an issue, or if it's been mostly repaired by now. I guess we'll find out. In any case, we got some Ginga to watch, and that's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to watch a few episodes today. I'm not sure how many I'll get through, but at least 2, maybe 3. And if I feel like it, maybe more. I don't know. But yeah, let's watch episode 78, see what happens, see how forked everybody gets. Ha, 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 ha. Alright, so I've got episode 78 up and ready to go. It's 0 seconds. As usual, there will be multiple versions of this reaction video. Picture-in-picture version with the video up there will be in the description down there. Timer-based version on YouTube. You're watching it right now. It'll have discussion at the end and a beep beep timer at the beginning to sync up with your own media if that's what you want to do. And that beep beep timer will go right here. Okay. Fair enough. Oh yeah. What have you got? Oh. Uh. Yeah, it still kind of does. Oh yeah, what do you got? I love girls. Oh, there we go. The surrender offer? Cool, cool. Probably worthwhile. I don't know if we need you as a mediator, Bittenfeld, but okay. I mean, yeah. Hmm. True. Yeah, he's kind of a goof. Hmm. They're starting to get cold feet. He's your only chance, though. See, Reinhard wouldn't look too kindly on that. Good. Yeah, and Reinhard would know that, you know? Yeah, exactly. How does he treat people who betray their comrades? Not well. Okay, good. Okay. Boom, you're done. I feel like fighting using Iserlohn is the only way, right? Both of those rely on flaws or failings by Reinhard, yeah. You can't rely on mistakes from him. You have to assume that he'll take the best actions. An icon with no substance. Bingo. He wants glorious battle. Or you think much less of yourself than you deserve. Matter of principle. Hmm. How does saying umme differ, though? Seems like a fair perspective. I mean, oh, hello. Hey, pretty lady. Not really. uh, drop your papers in the school hallway. Mm-hmm. Gonna gonna really bring up her estranged father. Come on, guys, you're not married yet. Oh, Julian. Oh. Wow. Just devoured that cake. Learning from dad. I don't know, man. That's so mean. Dusty's a bachelor too. Miracle Young. New motto. Almost zero. Yeah. Okay. That was a noise. Okay. That's adolescence for you. Yeah, it's not really his wheelhouse. It's true. It's a slippery slope. That's kind of ominous. That's kind of ominous. Hi, Fork. How you doing? Oh, there's a lie. This is your righteous crusade. Just floating by. Yep. Yep. Got him. Easy peasy. Yeah. Damn. The response to Bittenfeld? Seems a bit facetious. Oh, oh shit. That's so badass. Dusty. Yeah. No, but it'll be hilarious. Yep. Oh, hi, Mercats. Not that much, but yeah. Any victory is a bit of a victory. Prevent him from making contact with anyone else and calming down. Maybe. Okay. Oh, we've still got the ED. A tragic year, eh? That's the second ominous thing. Okay. God damn, if Young actually gets killed by Andrew fucking Fork, I'm not gonna be a happy boy. Okay. So we're still doing setup. A lot of this was focused on Young and Co. and their sort of preparations for a battle against an overwhelming foe. And I think it commented rather directly on how their spirits are rather high, considering the situation that they're in and the impending bad war. But there are a couple things in this episode that send a little chill down my spine. A couple of not so good things. The most recent was the narrator's little, "This will be a tragic year for human history." Okay. I'm worried for Yang at this point. Like, genuinely kind of worried because of that, and this would be the last time that Yulin and Yang stayed up all night talking. I mean, I'm not gonna mourn preemptively or anything, but feels like the early setup for not just a defeat of Yang Wenli, but maybe the death of Yang Wenli. And with that spinning in my head as we got into the ED here, I kind of had a thought about the ED. So previously, when watching this, all of these frames of happiness on, I assume on Heinesen, but all of these frames of happy days with everybody there, I previously thought of them as like, this is something that maybe Julian is taking a look at during his journey to Earth, but he's gone and come back from Earth, and this is still the ED. So here's a thought. I've said before that I think that where this might be going is Julian ending up taking bits and pieces of everything that he's learned from Yang and his own experiences and becoming the person who steps up, who can manage not only the military but also the political, and maybe ends up being the final hero of the story, or at least the last man standing. And if that's the case, which is a big if, it's certainly not something that I know about, but just looking at this and looking at the somber expression on his face, it's like he's remembering bygone days, perhaps bygone days where Yang Wenli was still alive, and where the great responsibility wasn't directly on his shoulders. There's something about this and the way he looks at this last picture of Yang and then stands up as though like standing up to face his fate or to carry that burden or carry that weight. And it really does make me fear for Yang Wenli's safety, especially since we're beginning some plots and schemes by the Earth Cult, and how ironic and sad would it be if it were Fork who came back and managed to succeed. And previously I kind of just dismissed him because it's like, Andrew Fork. But that's the kind of unforeseen tragedy, the sort of blindside that could happen. So that makes me scared a little bit. And then beyond that, I mean, of course, this remnant of the Alliance fleet that's hanging out at Easterlone is super outnumbered, outgunned, outmatched, just like they need not just one miracle, but a series of them. And as Yang is thinking before Julian walks in at one point, there's no way to rely on Reinhard making mistakes or getting feverish or rushing into battle without thinking. That's not the kind of thing that Reinhard does. Not unless something crazy goes on. Like, it would have to take such a confluence of events. Like, he gets a call that his sister Anna Rose just got assassinated by Rubinsky and the attempt succeeded on the same day that he's sending his fleet in, and he abandons all his plans and freaks out or something. Like, doubt it. Strongly doubt it. So, shit looks pretty hopeless right now. Now, that said, Yang is Miracle Yang, so there's always a chance when he's at the helm. There were a couple of interesting lines that caught my attention here. I'm not sure where it was, but there's one point where he calls himself an icon without substance. I think it's here. Yeah, I think it's here. I think it's actually just before here. It's right before he crosses his legs. Yeah. As much as it's against my will, the fact that I, a mere icon without substance, hold the impregnable Easterlone fortress and continue to put up resistance against the Empire itself becomes the spiritual support for people who uphold a republican democracy. A hell of a line. But, well, Young's humility has always been one of his defining characteristics, but I think he undervalues his own position and his importance to this effort. I know that in the same breath he's thinking that he himself becomes a spiritual support or a moral support for democracy, but he's more than that, and he has substance as a leader and as a strategist and as a commander. And again, more highly of me than the real thing. I don't know about that. I think Reinhard has a pretty good estimation of your abilities, Yang, as the only person who's ever really challenged him. This conversation about predetermination versus fate is an interesting one. But it's not in the context of saying that there's no such thing as zero chance of victory. It's not really what he's getting at here. More that it's important to remember that it's always a series of decisions that leads to a battle, leads to a conflict, leads to one victory or another. Interesting. The little spat between Katarosa and Yulian is kind of cute in a middle school flirtatious way. I know they're a bit older than that, but you know. I find it interesting that Kazalnu was sort of peeking around the corner there, considering he has a stake in Yulian. That he's semi promised to marry his daughter, kinda. But she's really little, kinda. So we'll see if that blossoms into any kind of weird conflict. I don't really expect it to, but it might. I do hope they come up with a cool motto. I like so what? Or something related to foppery and whim. It's a very dusty thing to say. And I love the letter that they're sending back to Bittenfeld. It's so backhanded. It's so backhanded and over the top. I love it. But I don't think, I mean, Bittenfeld can get hot-headed, but he's been punished for that before, and Fahrenheit is nearby, and Fahrenheit does not get hot-headed, at least as far as I know. So I don't think that'll work to force him to do something really stupid. Although if they hit him with the message and have a fleet fly out at the same time, yeah, they'll probably engage. But what are their chances of winning such a conflict? Like, even against a fraction of Reinhardt's army, like 5% of Reinhardt's fleet is their entire fleet minus the fortress. So things are looking rough now. Things are looking pretty rough. They're gonna need some really clever stuff to make this happen. Now I'm curious, come next episode, whether we jump back to preparations by Reinhardt or something similar, or if we get straight into the heat of things and start accelerating into a sort of climactic battle here. I don't know. If we do head toward I mean, we're going to eventually. I think it's episode like 86 or 88 or so where the season changeover is supposed to happen. So we've probably got a few less than 10 episodes before whatever big change in the universe occurs. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to mention about this episode. Oh, actually, one other thing. the ease with which Fork is manipulated was definitely predictable, but I find it interesting and clever by the leader of the Earth cult that he pulls on the exact strings that were Fork's sort of his lifeblood when we first saw him, crusading for justice, the hero of Republican democracy, and playing it as though Young stole that from him. And I also found his comments to his compatriots a little bit interesting, where he says that essentially the one who gets assassinated is assassinated because they're important to history, and whether or not they are assassinated, they would have made it into the history books. But the assassin would be nothing without that act. You don't become an assassin like that unless if you already have something worth writing down, worth noting. And I think that sums up Fork pretty well. He's barely a blip in the history books unless he pulls off the assassination of someone like Yang Wenli. And then infamy becomes his legacy. Interesting stuff is afoot. Okay, well, yeah, that finishes up Ginga Eiyuu Densetsu episode 78. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Ginga Eiyuu Densetsu. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I hope to catch you in the next one, which I'll probably record right now. Peace.